Sidney J. Harris once said, 90% of the world's woe comes from people not knowing themselves, their abilities, their frailties, and even their real virtues. Most of us go almost all the way through life as complete strangers to ourselves." End quote. To me, this is a wonderful quote, because most people think that they know who they are until something happens and they have to get out of their mold. I grew up playing softball most of my life. I didn't really work hard in school. I just did what I had to so I could play ball. When I was 15, I messed up my knee pretty bad. Instead of getting it completely fixed, we just kind of temporarily fixed it so that I could keep playing ball, because I wanted to go on to college ball. I didn't even make it through to my senior year before I messed up my knee pretty bad again. We did another temporary fix in hopes that I could play before the end of the season, but my recovery took too long. I went through some okay jobs. Then I finally went to work with my dad. He works at a manufacturing company in Cedartown, Georgia, called Hahn. It was a lot more money than I could make in a small town of Center, Alabama. For the most part, I drove a forklift and didn't have to do much physical labor. One day I was picking something up and my knee messed up worse than ever. I had to have a major surgery this time. I completely tore my ACL and ripped my meniscus, and it flipped over. This made my fourth knee surgery since the age of 15. When I couldn't play ball anymore, I just gave up. I didn't want to be the person that just keeps going through the motions and losing myself after that. That is exactly what I've been doing since I got out of school. It was at this point in my life that I realized that I couldn't keep relying on my physical body. I decided that I needed to go back to school and get the knowledge I needed to have a job where I didn't have to rely on the functioning of my knee. After I had made the decision to go back to school, I found out that I had contracted a staph infection. This also just confirmed that I needed to go back to school and didn't need to rely on the functioning of my knee. Now I'm working really hard to find myself and realizing all the abilities that I possess. I've been going to JSU since the spring of 2008, and I'm loving it. I'm still working at Hahn full-time right now. I believe that I've permanently fixed my physical weakness. I'm working really hard in school. I'm learning who I am. I was part of that 90%, but now I'm working on changing that. Ask yourself, are you part of that 90%? The 90% of the world's woes come from people not knowing themselves, their abilities, their frailties, and even their real virtues. Most of us go almost all the way through life as complete strangers to ourselves.